Jerry Rice Rookie Cards, the complete guide. Any discussion about Jerry Rice rookie cards is bound to be a short one, at least in comparison to players that came along after him. Because while many consider Rice to be the greatest all-around football player who ever lived, and while he eventually appeared on plenty of football cards, the truth is, his debut came while the gridiron hobby was still marred in something called the Dark Ages. Even though 5 years had passed, an eternity in modern hobby terms, since Joe Montana's rookie cards went live in 1981, not much had changed by the time the fellow 49ers legends and future Hall of Famers connected in cardboard for the first time. But even with limited options, or maybe because of them, Jerry Rice rookie cards remain some of the most popular football collectibles of all time. Here is the complete rundown of Flash 80's very first football cards. 1986 Mcdonald's 49ers Jerry Rice Black Tab number 80. Even though Fleer and Donruss had crashed the baseball party back in 1981, the same year those Super Joe rookies came out, Topps was still the only game in football cards by the middle of the decade. But then, as the Chicago Bears were cruising towards Super Bowl 20 in the late fall of '85 and into early '86, McDonald's joined the shuffle party with a kickoff payoff promotion in the Windy City. Specifically, the Golden Arches released a set of 32 cards featuring Bears players and coaches, each with a tab that afforded customers the chance to earn prizes based on how the team performed in a given playoff round or in the big game itself. The promotion was popular enough that McDonald's expanded to include all 28 NFL teams in their follow-up promotion in the fall of 1986, with each team's cards available in restaurants and areas surrounding the club's home turf. Each team was represented by 24 different cards, 25 for the Dallas Cowboys, along with a 30-card McDonald's All-Star issue that was available nationwide, outside of the established NFL markets. That made for a huge 703-card set, made even huger by 4 tab variations. Specifically, there was one color of game tab used for each of the 4 weeks of the Mickey D's NFL promotion: black, blue, green, and orange. So that's a lot of explanation before we ever even get to Rice. But as you might have guessed, the budding young receiver was part of the San Francisco 49ers McDonald's set, released in the Bay Area that fall. Since the cards themselves were unnumbered, they're usually listed by the player's uniform number, which appears on card fronts. That means we get Jerry Rice at number 80, just like we'd seen streaking down NFL fields for 20 full seasons. This black tab version is the most common according to the PSA population report, but not by much. As of September 2021, the grading company has processed 74 copies of this card, with a plurality 29 of them checking in at PSA 8 condition. These cards don't come up for sale all that often, and the most recent selling prices have been sort of all over the place. But looking at the auction prices realized for other grades and considering the booming collectible market of 2020 to 2021, you can probably expect to pay prices in the range of $300 to $400 for a PSA 8 copy of this Jerry Rice rookie card. 1987 McDonald's 49ers Jerry Rice Blue Tab number 80. This blue tab version of the McDonald's Rice rookie card is a bit less populous. PSA has graded 51 through August of 2021, but is otherwise identical to the black tab version. As such, you should expect much the same when it comes to value, $300 to $400 for a copy in PSA 8, if you can find one. 1988 McDonald's 49ers Jerry Rice Green Tab number 80. Different tab, same basic story. The PSA population for this green variety hovers around 66 as 2021 heads into the home stretch, providing little reason to expect anything other than the similar $300 to $400 price tag. 1989 McDonald's 49ers Jerry Rice Orange Tab number 80. This final McDonald's version of the Jerry Rice rookie card shows the same sunny image of a guy who would eventually rewrite the NFL receiving record book, but with an orange tab. This one checks in on the lower end of the population spectrum, along with the blue tab version, but seems a bit slightly tougher from a condition standpoint. Still, the $300 to $400 range probably isn't too far out of line for a copy in graded PSA 8. 1986 Topps Jerry Rice number 161. Of course, as great and fun as the Mcdonald's cards are, with their relative scarcity and color variation, it's the 1986 Topps Jerry Rice rookie card that really sets the hobby on fire when Gentleman Jerry began to dismantle NFL defenses. By the time this card was issued, Rice already had one season under his belt, the 1985 campaign that saw him in all 16 games, but recorded just 4 starts. That overall lack of playing time didn't curtail Rice's production much, though. 49 catches, 927 yards, 3 touchdowns. By the end of the 1986 season, Rice had already given collectors a reason to pull his rookie card aside as it came out of wax packs. 86 catches for league-leading totals in yards, 1,570, and touchdowns 15. It was off to the races from there, as Montana to Rice became as legendary a pairing as the sports world has ever seen, and as Rice himself went about redefining what was possible for wide receiver position. Like Michael Jordan in basketball, Montana and Rice helped elevate football in the hobby too, with rookie cards that drew attention and drove demand like none before them. You could make a solid argument that the Niners superstars, along with a few others like Walter Payton, Dan Marino, and John Elway, helped whet collectors' appetites for the proliferation of new sets that exploded onto the scene in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Rice never let up on the pedal either, demolishing the record book on his way to the Hall of Fame in Canton and pushing his rookie card into record territory too. In today's noisy market, plenty of other cards have nudged the 1986 Topps Rice card from the limelight, and outrageous prices for nearly new cards are becoming the norm. No matter how much glitz and glamour the new issues unleash, though, there are few cards that can touch the Jerry Rice rookie in terms of historical significance. And with those green borders and diagonal white yard lines, this particular piece of history also presents some condition difficulties. Here in the latter part of 2021, you can expect prices around $250 to $300 for copies in PSA 8 condition. Bump that up to graded mint PSA 9 level, and you're looking at a buy price in the neighborhood of $2,500. And if you want a perfect 10, then you might have to put that luxury car on hold for a while, because your $80,000 is going to be tied up in cardboard. No matter which route you run to with this Jerry Rice rookie card, though, you know it's going to be a touchdown in the end.